I'm Paul Sims, and I'm here with
Sam Johnson.
Chris Marcil.
Spider.
Stephen Root.
Spider. You said you had some. You thought about it last night. You have some questions that'll help get things going here.
Yay.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
After yesterday's embarrassing commentary, I thought I had to do some work. Got to get the conversation going. When we make these TV shows, there's actually an area that we call TV safe. And if you watch these DVDs on your computer, you actually see stuff that never was really intended to see on a TV set.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, so I was watching the Titanic episode last night, and there's a bunch of stuff that normally didn't appear on any TV screen before. I mean, I don't ever remember seeing it, but you can see part of the board that's stopping the water from going into the break.
Really?
Yeah, the bullpen.
And why is this? Why can you see it on there?
I'm not sure. I think the computer allows you to see everything that's on, that's actually photographed, whereas, or whatever, that was actually shot, whereas the TV actually has an area that's not broadcast.
I think that's also on TVs when it's like the full aspect, whenever it's all widescreen.
Right.
And it's a DVD. Because I just watched like the first season of 24, and there was like a great scene where Jack Bauer is like protecting his family, and you can see like a dude right to the side in some bushes, like throwing some firecrackers that are supposed to be gunshots.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, it was great.
Let's look at that episode.
That's more interesting.
So, Spider, do you ever see boom mics or anything in the shots, or have you not reviewed enough of the?
In what I saw last night, I saw some shadows, which we normally would clear up in post, but they didn't see any booms. But we did definitely see some stuff we didn't normally see.
Technically speaking, would this show look any different or better watching it on a high def set? It wasn't shot in high def, so.
Not necessarily, but I mean, I think most things do look better.
No, looking at them, I
just
thought
be in
they
my
looked
head.
really. It was a good transfer. It looked good to me.
Yeah. The other thing I was thinking about was there was a question yesterday.
Yep.
Oh,
This
written
is
by
a
Brad
Brad
Copeland.
Story by Brad Copeland.
Story by Brad Copeland, who was our stage PA. Is that correct?
He started out as the phone
Started
PA,
out.
phone page.
And then he won an Emmy for Arrested Development, and now his career's taken off.
Yeah.
Where's my piece of that? Come on. Spider, another question
Yes.
or comment.
Yesterday, someone wrote in about, or I guess in a previous episode, we talked about any sort of dream guest that we never got to have, and there was one that never appeared on the show, and that was Howard Stern. And I know you guys bugged the hell out of them as much as Kevin Spacey.
That's right. Howard, we always wanted Howard Stern on the show, and in fact, in these questions that came in from the email, people, a lot of them asked what was the obsession with Howard Stern, and it's just that I liked him, and Joe Fury liked him, and a lot of people listened to him, and we loved him, and I don't know. I always wanted it to be one of those shows that he watched and said, "Yeah, I sort of like that show," but it never happened. And then I was going through all the old paperwork, and I realized that at one point we did. We had Howard would do live spots for live commercials on his show for shows, and we had him do it for NewsRadio. But going through my old paperwork, I discovered something I'd forgotten, which was that I personally paid $38,000 out of my own pocket for those because NBC wouldn't do it. And that was money. That was money well spent. It was just fun to hear him talking about it. And now, actually, they do, back then and now, they do play, there are a few audio clips from the show that they play a lot when they play audio clips. All of them being one of the many times that we said Baba Booey in the show or made reference to Howard in the show in some way.
What? It's from the Record and Tape Club. Dear Miss Rodriguez, your club membership is in serious arrears.
Spider, you got anything else? This is good stuff. That's it? You said you had
No,
stuff?
that was good.
That was
good
good
stuff. I'm
Look, we had
impressed with
two on-topic discussions. I feel like we're ages ahead of the last one.
We did. I remember we also had a story for a while, like in season 4, where like Phil was going to have a mock funeral for one of his rivals in his time slot.
Inspired by Howard Stern funerals for.
He was going to have a mock funeral for like some
rivals,
show on Columbia University radio.
Why didn't we do that one?
I don't know.
Oh, that was a good idea.
William Hong's Electronica Hour.
It was like a DeBella thing, like when Crush DeBella.
Yeah. We should have done that. Now, I'm assuming that Vicky's wardrobe in this is a joke in some sense. She's got
This whole season was a joke.
She's got a joke
in terms of her
But the last
wardrobe.
thing was kind of cute. This has a big tail on it and everything. It seems
Oh yeah, she's had that for several shows this season.
unusual.
She has big trains.
She was very poofy.
Yeah. See, this is
That's
Right.
That's strange.
It's very bizarre.
Was she trying to separate herself from that other girl that looked just like her?
Suddenly,
But I think she was just trying to be relatable. Like, there's everybody in an office.
if you've worked in an office, you've worked with someone who dresses up with a big thing. Has a train. Has a train hanging off the back, of course. John Lovitz, there he is. I tried to get him for this, but his message box on his voicemail is full. I feel bad about that. Well, that means he's busy. People are calling him all the time.
Yeah.
Well, he's very busy doing his Subway commercials now.
That's right.
Which are funny. I think they're good.
They are good. I just wish he was here right now to give me something to talk about.
Are there any questions for John Lovitz that maybe we can answer?
Yeah.
No, but I do have a good specific question here for Joe.
What was Gina Davis like on A League of Their Own?
Spider, you want to take this?
Oh, look,
Boy.
I like this outfit. This is good.
That is the silliest thing I think I've ever seen you wear.
All right, because now they've switched.
That's right. I'm on
things.
board now.
Yeah, and you're Matthew.
So this is one of the 50 episodes we did where people either switched personalities or switched jobs.
Right, well, we called them coconut drops.
Yes,
I think we coined that
We were
phrase.
talking about that
Oh, yeah.
coming from Gilligan's Island.
Yeah. I like the idea too that he has to dress like Matthew.
Yeah, it's not just enough to do the job. He has to wear a shirt that looks like a Dalmatian and a sweater vest. Do you guys remember, because we haven't been paying attention to the episode here, why did he and Matthew switch jobs here?
I don't know. It had something to do with
no recollection.
I think it had something to do with the line they painted down the middle of their apartment.
Oh, so this is supposed to be Jimmy's office?
Yeah.
Yeah, and this is definitely setting up something really funny.
This is not the Jimmy's office we saw in the first season, is it? That one was big and had. Hey, that's Maura's friend Judy.
Judy Goldschmidt.
Yeah, I forgot that she was in this.
Because anything you want, she can get in like 5 seconds.
It pays to be Moore's friend, doesn't it? I think yesterday, or excuse me, in a previous episode,
Yeah.
there was another friend of
There was
hers.
another friend of Maura's. Maura's always helping out. Now, I asked
George Hoover Lindsay in the background.
Oh, that's
me,
great.
George. Yeah, that's a good shot.
I asked Andy when he was in earlier today to describe his relationship with Joe Rogan, and he characterizes it as Joe was mean to him all the time. And I said, how? And he said, he was just really mean.
Well, that's settled.
Well, there we have.
Joe loved Andy.
Truly. This is the thing. That's why I keep asking Andy about it, because Andy cracked Joe up more than anyone else. But
Yeah.
Andy always felt somehow like Joe was being mean to him. I think I suspect just by the odds of it, if you watch this scene and Matthew does anything funny, you're going to see Joe crack up,
Crack up
and
and
then us try to cut around it.
Right.
What? That's a loaded spear gun! I know, I'm not a complete idiot.
Spider, did you add that sound effect? 'Cause that was the perfect sound effect.
I believe my people did. That's correct.
It was sometime during the season when Andy and Joe were standing together whispering, plow through, get the check, over and over.
Yeah, like Sam and I were like, we had the headphones on, like right before a scene, and the mic is live, and like you could hear the actors muttering, and Joe was like, "That's my philosophy: plow through, get the check, plow through, get the check," and that was extremely helpful to us in our television career and subsequent shows.
We would often say that.
Words to live by.
I broke in though. Guess what his secret password?
What kind of computers did we use on the desk? Did we use?
We didn't have Macintoshes.
Were
I
they
don't think.
Dells or
Well,
HPs?
no,
What was it?
On Dave's desk, there was a Mac yesterday.
Yeah.
Oh, was there?
Yeah, he
Yeah.
got a Mac because he
but
was
that
in.
was Dave's Mac, I think, wasn't
Yeah, well, yeah, he got it because he was in that Pixar movie, Bugs
Right,
Life.
right. He was
That's
in
right.
Bug's Life, right? And he got that from them.
Actually, looking at this now, there is one difference between the set this season from previous seasons. Is that previous seasons we had all those big computer monitors, and now it seems that the characters have switched over to laptops, and that's progress
wave
for
of
the
the
future.
future,
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh, I never noticed that either.
What's in there?
The monitors got lost in the move from Sunset Gower to Renmar.
Renmar.
Look at that
Wonder
thing.
CDs. Make it sound so shady. All you have to do is stash them.
Oh, this is the B story.
And what happens
Which
in it?
is?
Of course, it's the B story. It's in the break room.
This is where Beth, I guess, is being tracked down by all those people from Columbia House or whatever. From
Oh, right, the
Syria.
record people.
Yeah.
I remember. I remember.
That truly is a B story.
B-side story. Thank you.
C plus, B minus, around there.
Recycled copies of Steve Steve Miller Band's greatest hits.
Wow, we can think of absolutely nothing to say, can't we?
I know. Fellas, talk about. You know what? There were a few writers that joined us in the 5th season that weren't there earlier.
That's
Do you
good.
That's
remember which ones?
correct. Yes.
Tom and Cal.
Tom Saunders and Kel Cahoon.
Yeah, they came over from.
Wow.
From Larroquette, I think.
Was it Larroquette? They'd also worked at Larry
They were-
Sanders after my time,
Right.
briefly.
And didn't they work on a Steve Levitan show? Didn't they work on like
Just Shoot Me?
Just Shoot Me? Maybe? I think they did, but maybe not.
And then who else was there?
Mark
Mark
O'Keefe.
O'Keefe,
Mark
who
O'Keefe,
has had a great movie career since
writing.
NewsRadio.
Bruce Almighty.
Bruce Almighty,
Right.
and that Adam Sandler movie with the remote control. Click.
Yes.
And Ron Weiner was also on staff this year.
Ron Weiner, very gifted musician.
Yes, he's written a musical.
And Andy. Oh, Andy's not
Whatever
here.
happened to Andy Dick?
I don't know. I was just thinking. Andy really looks good in a suit. Maybe we should have put him in that through the whole series.
Global thermonuclear.
That's a war game reference for you, 15-year-olds.
Yeah.
How's that going?
I like that he has all those vitamins and things on his desk that he's.
That was the real Andy too, though.
Incorporating Andy's real life. What? We're not forgetting any other writers that were there in the 5th season, are we? I hate to do that. No, that was it.
I
We
think
had
that was it.
We had four new people.
Yeah.
Not so good.
Job's a lot tougher than you thought, huh?
Yeah.
Let's just watch the show.
I know. That's what Andy always says when he's watching. He's like, shh, I want to see what happens. You know what? I'm going to go back to some internet questions. Sure. I got a great one here. What got Joe Rogan interested in UFC? How does he feel about the success of Ultimate Fighting series? Is there any fighter not currently in UFC that he would like to see brought in? Would he ever do an interview for the LAW, Live Audio Wrestling, a wrestling and mixed martial arts talk show in Toronto? That comes from David Goodspeed.
I'm sure he would.
Well, Joe's not here, so
And that's an apple too, by the way. It's a black apple, but
I'm just going to
it
say
is an
yes.
apple.
Joe's not here, but he was on Adam Carolla's show yesterday morning,
Yes, he
so I can
was.
actually answer some of those questions for you. I believe he's been doing karate. Excuse me.
Taekwondo, isn't he? He was like a big champion in Massachusetts or something.
I believe he is a black belt. He's been a black belt for quite some time, but he recently, I think in the last 6 or 7 years, picked up jiu-jitsu, and so now he's honed his skill in grappling.
Grappling? Really?
Yeah.
That's exciting. No, I mean, I'm saying it's exciting.
No, I know. Thrilling.
Right. Jiu-jitsu.
Joe, I need some help here. What's up? I'm trying to lock Mr. James in the break room.
Oh, cool.
Here's a question from Pope Chess and David Pan, USC. If NewsRadio lasted to the satisfactions of the writers and creator, how would it have really ended? Oh, if we hadn't gotten canceled, how would it have really ended? I don't know, but it is a recurring dream/nightmare that I have at least once a month.
Do you really?
And the nightmare is that we're working hard on the second to last episode. I know that the next episode is going to be the last one, and I'm desperately trying to think of an idea of how to end it so that it's a happy ending for all the characters. And it torments me, and I've been having it for 5 years.
Oh, this is Andy comes back through the glass. Yeah, he does.
We've had a few people go through that glass window. Wow.
Steven, that might be the craziest thing I've ever seen you
That
do on the
is
show.
really crazy.
Wait, I think we're gonna have a cameo here. The guy replacing the glass. If
Hang
I'm
on a
not
second.
mistaken.
Don't give it away, and we'll see if we can guess it
Well,
when we see it. I hope it's real.
No, I think the last thing he needs to worry about is you getting busted by the record police. Come on.
Oh, quickly. All right, what's the deal?
She needs to dump an ass load of CDs.
Here's a good question from Ross21X. What were some of the stories that the writers really loved, but that we never did? Do you guys remember any favorites
Very early Edie
that we never did? What were you? Come on, you're disgruntled writers. You're supposed to be able to say like, yeah, our episode about such and such should have been done.
Well, I can't remember other than the Law and Order crossover is one that kept coming back. The whole Johnny Johnson thing was something that Josh talked about year after year after year. That finally
DB Cooper
DB
thing?
Cooper,
The DB
yeah,
Cooper,
he was
yeah.
so into DB Cooper.
I wonder how many of the viewers remembered the story of the DB Cooper and remembered the real story. Probably as many
I don't
as
know.
who remembered any other obscure reference. So
Yeah.
if it was one, that was enough, I guess.
Yeah, I think there were always a few story ideas up on those little cards on your wall that we would have every year that we just never ever got to. But now I can't remember what.
I
any
just
good
remember
ones were.
muffin-faced funny lady.
Muffin-faced funny lady.
That always was up on a card. What was that?
That was a
Imogene
that was a
Coco, wasn't
description USA Today of Imogene Coco when she died.
It's too bad we could never figure out a way to expand that into a full story.
There we have
Are we gonna
another
see the
shot. Of
We
a
did do
building in New York.
Noisy Cripple was up for like over a year,
Oh,
and then we
yeah,
got that in.
Hey, sir.
Oh, hey.
How you doing?
I'm just packing up a few personal items, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm really sorry about all this.
Thanks, Dave. I appreciate it. Oh, look.
Oh, look, everything's back to normal. Jimmy's back in his office.
But I think he just lost his fortune.
No, I lost my fortune. I'm leaving, as I recall.
That's why I'm so mad.
Oh, yeah, I was looking at this as a
Oh, this is
new
sad.
start, maybe, you know what I mean?
I think that's a very healthy attitude.
In your opinion, what is the funniest line or moment on the show? Asks Justin Keys.
It could only come from the smoking episode.
I know. The only episode seen by America. The unaccountably popular smoking. Not unaccountably, it was a good episode, but for some reason it must have ran more than any other episode, because still to this day, that's when people who don't even remember really what the show was or what it was called go, oh, I saw that once, that guy trying to stop smoking and blah, blah, blah. And
News Talkie Talk.
News Talkie Talk. Or as Andy was in here earlier saying of all the, people say, oh, I loved you on talk radio, I loved you on this and that. And he was in here earlier saying that someone on an airplane said to him, I loved you in that show Newspaper. Which is probably
That's a great one.
Hey, is this the cameo?
I hope so. Well, that's John Lovitz and that's Maura Tierney. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey,
that's Wayne Fetterman.
Fetterman.
Did he appear more than once in the show, or is this his only appearance?
I think this is the only appearance while we've been paying attention.
That's possible.
Right.
Wayne, around this time, I used Wayne in that pilot that I was doing instead of paying attention to News Radio during this time.
I'm sure.
Overseas?
I think
Yes.
that's why he
Is
was there.
that is
actually.
that going to be like a bonus feature on this DVD release?
No, that will never be seen by anyone ever again. Never was seen, never will be seen.
Unless they talk to certain people.
Spider, if you ever release that to anyone, I'll kill you. We covered this in another session here, but a bunch of people asked, at what point did you know for sure News Radio wasn't coming back for the sixth season, and what were the cast and crew's reactions? What was your guys as writers? What did you feel like?
You know what, I don't know about the sixth season, but every season we worked there, our agent would say, you got to go take some meetings because the show is not coming back. And we got hired at King of the Hill 2 times and turned them down both times because we thought, well, I think it may be coming back. I think there's a chance it's coming back. And it did until the end.
Here's a question from Pet Sounds 14, Jader Holt, and Benjamin, which is, were there any episodes written for season 6? No, but we realized from Spider pointed out to us at another session that knowing that the plan was that the whole station was going to move to New Hampshire, at the end of the season we shot about 30 seconds that would be the beginning of the 6th season if it ever happened, which was Dave and Matthew in this office because they were the only 2 left behind when everyone else moved away. And we were going to somehow use that to bridge into the 6th season.
Without constructing this office set, which we wouldn't.
Yes, which
I can remember doing that on the. I think, or watching it being done is the very last thing that we did.
But we were never really we were just so relieved to get through with one season that we would never think of the next season until we came back. And then we'd have a bunch of ideas. Everybody would go off and immediately write up a script. And then after that, we were just...
I know, so we would go right into the season with 6 scripts done out of 22 or 24. Yeah. And when we were out of those, then it was just...
I think normally shows like to have 9 scripts done.
Oh, then we weren't doing so bad.
We weren't doing so bad, but they also have
They had a process
They
where,
keep doing it.
Yeah.
where while they were filming one, they would be preparing ones for the future.
Yep.
I don't see how people do that.
You weren't gonna, ever forgive me. Can't breathe. Everything going black.
James, I don't think his rib cage can take that much forgiveness.
Oh, I think it can.
Spider, you weren't here yesterday when we were talking about this. Durbecker asks, are the DVD episodes the syndicated versions or the original network broadcasts? These are the original full network broadcasts, right?
Yeah, that's right.
And you did a lot of work on cutting down these episodes for the syndicated versions.
Yeah, we were cutting these as we were shooting season 5. We were cutting down 10 a week for like 5 weeks. Or
And
6
how much
weeks.
time did you have to cut out of each episode?
Some episodes were at a time. Some of the later ones were at a time. Some of the worst ones were about 2 minutes. You
2
know?
minutes you had to take out?
Yeah, but most of them fell around a minute to 45 seconds.
Why were the later ones at a time? Because the broadcast version was short. They shortened our time.
Yeah, they kept taking away our time.
Did nobody email and ask what the station plays at night when they turn off all the lights?
That's one of those questions best left unanswered.
That was one thing I wanted to do in
That was an
season 5 is
episode.
that to answer that question with the Jimmy James funk machine. Like Jimmy plays like funk and classic soul at night.
It is true. It is weird. This 24-hour news station, we'd sometimes end episodes with everyone going home and literally turning off the lights.
But that was an episode that was a dream episode that we wanted to do. Was like it only involved the characters who were there in the night shift, like all the regulars.
And in fact, I think there was an episode from this season when Jimmy was flying around the world pretending to fly around the world in his balloon. When Dave's in the office late at night, and suddenly Jimmy shows up, and it confirms finally that the office was absolutely empty during non-work hours. I don't know. That's one of those things that, yes, it's a logical question, but how could you have possibly, if we were really trying to deal with that in the show, how could we deal with it?
Well, we could have hired 4 more extras.
Yeah, and that's,
No, they kept taking away the extras too.
Yeah.